Helpful words to build up your vocabulary in real estate. Hey, there's a lot of words that get tossed around in real estate, just like any other profession. Instead of it sounding like a foreign language, we're going to identify a handful of them here, list them off for you, and go through exactly what they mean. So stay tuned. So let's go through these. First word or first acronym, ROI, return on investment. This is a huge one because this is what you need to know in real estate. You need to know what is going to be your return on investment, not just in your real estate properties, but also in the people that you're investing in. You're making deposits in them as well, and the real estate. So what is your return on investment? REO, you'll hear a lot of agents say REO. This is real estate owned. This is typically if a property goes to foreclosure, goes to auction, doesn't sell at the auction, the bank takes it back. It's REO, real estate owned. That's when the bank owns that foreclosed asset. ARV, you'll hear a lot of people talk about what's the ARV. That's the after repair value. That means after you've purchased the property, what's the value of the property after it's been fixed with everything that needs to be done. After repair value. The reason why that's important, by the way, is because you have that number is your exit number. And then you have your purchase price. On top of that, you have your rehab amount. And then in between there, you have your margins. If your margin's not big enough, then you can't do that deal. That leads to MAO. It's the maximum allowable offer that you could make on that property, keep your margins, and then you hit your ARV. So you just want to make sure you do not exceed your maximum offer. It's the maximum allowable offer, MAO. The next is my favorite, cash flow. You want to make sure that you have positive cash flow on your properties, not negative. Some people bank on appreciation and they'll have a negative cash flowing property. Makes no sense to me because at any given time, any market could take a dip. I more bank on, because I live on monthly income, I want that cash flow to be positive because that's what I'm banking on to come in every month to pay my bills. It's how your properties are cash flowing. Are they positive or negative, right? So you want to, again, make sure your properties have positive cash flow. Debt, think of debt more like it's your mortgage. There's equity part and a debt part. So debt and equity. A lot of people work with debt equity blends, but without getting into all that, think about your equity as your down payment and then your debt as your mortgage. So anything that's on the property encumbers it that you're paying a mortgage on, that's going to be your debt. Next is contract. You go under contract. When people say I'm going under contract, that means typically your purchase and sale contract, whether you're buying or selling, that contract is written up, it's inked. Once it's under contract, that means there's obligations by both parties. You want to make sure you have your contract looked at, maybe by an agent or even an attorney prior to executing it. That goes on either side if you're buying or selling, because there's all sorts of stipulations in there to protect you, and that could potentially hurt you as well. So you want to get familiar with your purchase and sale contracts. It's a big thing. In your purchase and sale, there's going to be something called due diligence, your due diligence period. What that is, you'll hear it maybe as feasibility. It's your time to basically underwrite or evaluate that property. You're going through, checking, making sure stuff was done to code. Maybe you want to reposition it, rezone it. Everything that you want to do to that property, you can, but more importantly, everything maybe that's been done to that property was done correctly. So when you do your inspections, you have someone come out and check out the property, maybe even appraise it. Make sure that you're not overpaying for it. That's what you're going to end up doing in your due diligence period. Remember, we talked about a contract. Once that contract is executed, that goes into escrow. Escrow is going to be a third-party facilitator. They're basically bringing you and whether it's the buyer or seller to the party, and they are going to, execute, help facilitate the deal. They're pulling title on it. It's basically, think about a title on your car. They're checking it for maybe it's got a salvage title, maybe there's something on there that's branding it that has an issue. There could be an issue with the property, and they're checking to make sure. That's what escrow does, is pull title, make sure, or preliminary title. It's what they're just vetting it out, making sure everything's okay. You don't want to just necessarily buy a property. You could You technically take on other people's debts when doing so. Take a look at that. You want to make sure that you do use an escrow company or an attorney. Once it goes under contract, typically there's earnest money that's given. Earnest money is money of good faith saying, I'm going to buy this property. Here's my earnest money, and in doing so, I'm showing good faith by putting this money down. At some point in time in that contract, that money goes hard, typically after your inspection. This is called earnest money. Let's talk about principal and let's talk about interest. When you make a payment and you have a payment like to a bank, you have a principal payment and you have interest. That means every single month, let's say $1,000 is your payment, maybe $900 goes towards interest and $100 goes towards principal. What's that mean? Let's say you owe $100,000 on a property and the $100 is going towards the principal. You're only reducing that by $100 a month. The rest of that is all interest. The $900 goes to the interest. Yes, typically loans are front loaded with interest. It's simple interest declining balance. So it actually, the more and longer that you pay on this, you start paying down the interest more and more. Sometimes it's better to break your payments up into 2 payments a month. You end up paying it off faster. I don't want to get into all this right now, but what I want you to understand is principal and interest. So in one payment, you're paying both those things. You're paying a principal amount and an interest amount. The appraisal is a good one. Appraisal is a third party going out to appraise this house or whatever asset it is to verify what it's worth by pulling other comps in the area. You want to get an appraisal on properties. You don't want to overpay for something. Even if you're getting a good deal, it doesn't matter. You're getting a good deal. If your appraisal comes in higher, so be it. But the appraisal is a third party coming out to do an evaluation on the property and determine what it's worth. You hear the word broker a lot. Broker could mean a lot of different things. You could be a broker doing mortgages. You could be a broker selling houses. A broker is basically brokering the deal, whether it's brokering a mortgage or brokering the sale of a piece of real estate. They're basically that middleman helping you broker the deal. They're helping you negotiate it. There's so many different words that you need to get familiar with when investing in real estate. We have a sheet. If you click on the link below, fill out the form, we will actually send you one that's so comprehensive you could go through it at your leisure. It's very detailed and it's going to answer way more than what we got into here. I doubt you want to sit here and listen to me all day go on and on about this. We made it so simple. All you have to do is fill out the information. We'll send it to you and you can have it at your own fingertips at any time that you need it for reference. Appreciate you watching this video. Check us out next time. And if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you.